Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Teresa Parker. If you're new here, hello. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I know it's been a while since I posted, but last year in my video about my social media break in March, I talked about how I finished writing my book, and so the past few months have just been a lot of editing and revising, and I'm getting down to the very end of it. I'm about to send the book over to an editor on Monday, so that has been what's taking up most of the time I usually dedicate to my YouTube channel. So I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in again today. I wanted to get this video out last week or even 2 weeks ago because we went to Miami for Halloween, which was literally insane. It was like less than a week ahead of time. My two best friends, Riley and Cassie, they both work in airports, so they have the privileges of flying wherever, whenever, basically, if they're off of work and can get a seat. So they contacted me and were like, hey, do you want to come to Miami with us? And part of me was like, I really shouldn't be spending money like that in this economy. But the other half of me was very burnt out and needed a vacation and just wanted to go have a good time. I have really bad FOMO. And also, I love John Summit. I wanted to see John Summit, so I was really excited, except we didn't figure out that he didn't go on until 4 a.m. until the day of, so we didn't plan very well in advance. So I showed up to Riley's house on the 30th, which is her birthday, which is another one of the reasons why I figured, I might as well just go. And so she had bought this nun costume. We had all been deliberating about our costumes, and she could not get this thing to work. The zipper was broken. So when I got there, she was trying to put, I don't know what they're called, grommets or something in the back so she could make it into a lace up, and it just... Stop. You'll see if it worked or not later on in this video. But the reason that it sucked, I didn't plan more ahead for this trip, is because I literally woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning on the 31st. So I was up for a full 24 hours before John Summit even came on stage. So I got up and I got all ready. I did my hair and my makeup. I didn't do my full makeup look, but I did a natural eye makeup look and half of my hair done so that I could take pictures during the day and they wouldn't look the same as the pictures that I took that night. So make sure that you're following me on Instagram at TeresaAP98. I'll be posting that on the screen here and in the description below if you want to check out some of those photos. We were all on different flights. Like I said, my friends both work for airlines, so I just flew separately. So I was the first person that had to be at the airport, and I flew Spirit, which most people say is bad, but I didn't think it was that bad, honestly. And then I flew JetBlue on my way home, and they had free Wi-Fi. I was like, why would I pay more than this? Especially for just an overnight trip. All I had with me was a tiny backpack. The trip there wasn't really that bad, but I think that flying home is always what's the worst. The flight there, it's the anticipation, you're getting excited, but the flight home, oh my God, I wanted to die. I literally didn't sleep for over 36 hours. So then when I landed in Miami, Cassie's flight landed maybe an hour after mine, so I just hung out at the airport and waited for her to get in, and then we changed clothes so that we could go to the beach. I was determined to go to the topless beach because when I was 13 or 14, I was a competitive dancer, and for one of the shows that I did, I was invited on the Carnival cruise line with my dance company, and we were supposed to dance on this cruise, whatever. But the day before, my mom and I were hanging out at the beach in Miami, and there was a lady walking around topless, and I was literally traumatized because I was such a sheltered child, but now that I am who I am, it felt almost healing in a sense. And then we stopped for drinks for a little bit, but then our phones were about to die, so we ran back to the hotel, which is when we probably should have taken a nap. But I am a Pisces. I love the water, I love the beach, and I told Cassie, I was like, I'm gonna go back. Cassie, tell them where we're going.
We're on Topless Beach.
I've never been to one. I'm so excited.
You're gonna love it.
So we finally found the topless beach, and there weren't very many topless people there, except for this group of Russian ladies. And so I told Cassie, I was like, we need to sit next to these ladies so I don't feel uncomfortable, because I really wanted to take my top off. Even if it was only for 10 minutes, I just wanted to do it. And so like I ran out into the ocean, and Cassie was telling me that the little Russian ladies next to us were like, oh my God, she's so cute. And I got some really good content for my OnlyFans, so I had a great time at the beach. And then we met up with Riley like once the sun went down, and we got more food, more drinks before we went back to the hotel to start getting ready. We also stopped at like Walgreens to pick up some stuff, and while we were walking around, we stopped in some souvenir shops and found some interesting things you probably would only find in Miami. So then we got back to the hotel and started getting ready. I was the devil, and that originally was just because I already had that stuff laying around at home, and I was like, I don't want to buy a bunch of new stuff for this costume. I literally ended up spending over $100 on lingerie.
Let me see. Ooh, that was a nice shot.
Because I bought like 2 different outfits because I didn't know which one I would want, and one of them I forgot to take back, and it's too big on me, and it's not in my color palette, and I'm a little upset about it, but I digress. It was originally supposed to be even funnier because like Cassie was gonna be a witch, Riley was gonna be a nun, and I was gonna be the devil. And my caption on Instagram was gonna be like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. But literally we got like one group photo, and it's like a mirror picture, and it's a boomerang. Like we don't have any pictures together except for the Polaroids from Riley's camera, which we always do, but like I don't have any pictures of us from that trip. So people are gonna be like, did they get in a fight in Miami? Because Cassie's caption was gonna be something about how like we went on a girls trip to Miami and we came back and we're still friends, but we forgot to take group pictures except on the Polaroids. So Riley ended up getting a different outfit for her costume, and it's just like a bodysuit, but she still wore, what's it called, a habit? I should know this, I was raised Catholic. And then Cassie, I don't know, I think her hat didn't come in on time, which I thought was kind of crazy. She meant to just go to the Halloween store and get a witch's hat. I don't know if she just didn't find one or if she just liked this costume better, but she dressed up as the wedding scene from Beetlejuice. And it was actually really funny because while we were at the rave, we saw another girl who was dressed up as Beetlejuice, and they got some pictures together, which ended up being what Cassie posted. And then I made Riley get on her knees so that I could put this birthday sash on her, and we sang Hallelujah in the background.
Holy booty. I don't even care. It's Halloween. I don't care. I don't know. How far away is the Uber? I didn't order it. Oh no.
It was kind of annoying because we bought tickets to enter before 1 a.m. because they were like 20 bucks cheaper. It wasn't like anything really crazy. We knew he wasn't coming on early, but I don't think we realized it wasn't until 4 a.m. until we were literally in Miami. And like I said, that was probably my fault because I wanted to go to the beach. If we had just taken a nap, I think we would have been fine. So we get into club space and it's completely dead. It's totally empty except for like a few people because we got there at 11:30. We were like, well, if there's a line, we don't want to accidentally get caught up in it. There was no line. Honestly, we should have just gone home. When we saw that there was no line, we should have just left and come back an hour later. But we didn't. So we were just there, freezing, might I add, for a little while because no one else was there. But it was cool because we got to like explore the bar and like the venue and see kind of what they had going on. It was actually a really cool venue. I don't know if I like the crowd in Miami though. Maybe it's just like we prefer raving in our hometowns because we're familiar with it, but like the energy was just really weird. People were kind of rude, like shoving into you. There was literally a guy with like teardrop tattoos who got in front of us and he kept bumping into Riley. So Riley and I switched spots, and then I was bumping into him like on purpose because he kept shoving back into me. And then he was trying to tell me that they hadn't moved. He was like, we've been here since midnight. I was like, we've been here since 10:30 and the only time I moved was to go to the bathroom. And that was when you showed up. So, no. And they were like, Teresa, leave him alone. He has teardrop tattoos. Like, what are you gonna do to me? I'm sorry, we're at a John Summit rave. What are you gonna do, murder me? Whatever. Like, I wouldn't do that out on the street in an alleyway or anything, but front row at a rave, what are you gonna do to me? We met a couple of people. We met this girl named Hope at first, and she had lost one of her friends, and we were trying to help her out, but I guess she was like on one, because we saw her again later and she didn't recognize us. Like Riley went over, and Riley was the one who met her and was talking to her the whole night, and then she saw her again in the bathroom and was like, hey, like, did you find your friend? And the girl told her like, no, but I'm hanging out with these other people now. And Riley was like, do you even recognize me? And she was like, no. So we kind of gave up on that girl, let her be her own boss, I guess. And then we were standing with this guy, his name was Eddie. He was dressed up as a spaceman, which I thought was really cool at first, until I realized we were at Club Space and like half the people there were dressed in spacesuits. But he was really tall, like 6'5". He looked exactly like Jack Harlow. He's from Chicago, so if you know him, tell Eddie that we say hi. But it was nice because he was almost like a beacon standing in our spot. And like, he was really nice too, because he was actually helping us. Like if two of us had to go to the bathroom and one of us was staying, we'd be like, just stand next to Eddie so we can find you later. And we mostly did that, except for one time Riley came to find us at the bathroom and we went back into the crowd and she wasn't there. And we was like, where the hell did she go? Which was also kind of irritating because the crowd was so packed, we didn't want to go in and out of it like too many times. So that's kind of when we decided that we were gonna change positions. I think that we kind of went over to the side more, and by the end we were just like in the back, because I think that was almost the problem, is that here when I'm at my hometown raves, I don't care to be in the front. Like I don't really need to be up there. I don't like people bumping into me. It really irritates me, especially because like I hadn't slept at all. I was on my period. I was just very, very sensitive to the energy around me, and people kept bumping into me and I was getting very irritated. But I was determined to stay until 4 a.m. because I wanted to see John Summit. And we only stayed for like an hour and a half of the set, which kind of sucked, but I was like, there's not much more I can do without turning into a bitch. So we left at like 5:30 and people were still showing up. It was crazy. I want to go back there next time when we're like more prepared for what's going to happen, so that we can like plan for it and really have a good time, because this time it was like a little bit stressful. The actual rave part was really cool, but like a bunch of people were trying to get into VIP and it was so insane. This one girl dressed as Superwoman literally jumped over like the barrier into the VIP section, and there was a gay guy standing next to us and he was talking about like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And he was talking about how his friends were up there, and usually when they get up there, they'll pass their wristbands down to their friends, but then their friends wouldn't pass them down, so then they couldn't get up into the VIP section. And that's when this girl jumped over the barrier. And I was like, oh my God, that girl has been annoying me all night, because she had been begging the bouncer to let her in and then later jumped over on the opposite side. So she was just like really desperate and awkward. And I said something about how that girl had been pissing me off all night to the guy standing next to me. And like 2 minutes later, I saw them talking, because apparently they came together. But he was an angry gay man, so I don't think that he was going to tell her that I was talking shit, because he was also upset with her at the moment. So we kind of had a little bonding moment. But I don't know, she didn't say anything to me. I'm not worried about it. I live in Texas, she lives in Miami. Nothing's gonna happen now. She was just annoying. And there are girls like that at every rave, but I think it was just like, we were standing right in between where the bouncer was and where she jumped over. We were standing like on that corner. So I was watching all of this go down and just getting super irritated when usually this stuff happens behind the scenes, but I was right there for it. So we had a really good time, but Cassie ended up leaving around like 3 because she didn't even know who John Summit was really. She just came to like party with us, and she was really tired and she just wanted to go home. She didn't want to be in the crowd. So Riley and I stayed because I wanted to see John Summit. That was the whole reason I came. But like I said, we only stayed for like an hour and a half. It was insane. The lights and all of the effects and everything. It was an awesome show. I just wish that I had been in like a better state of mind because like I said, people kept bumping into me and I was in a bad mood. But it's whatever. While we were standing there, my purse had like, it was from Walmart, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was about to break. So I was worried and I was like, I'm gonna take my ID and put it in my tights so that I don't lose it because I was wearing tights underneath a bodysuit. And Cassie was like, no, here, like, let me just take it. And of course, what should happen is I wake up at 7 a.m. and text her, hey, did you leave my ID here? And she says, oh no, I forgot. So I am still in my makeup from the night before and I have to order an Uber. The Uber messes up, which we had an issue with this before when Riley was trying to meet us the night before. Like Uber couldn't figure out our current location at the hotel and it was saying we were on the other side of the bridge. So then when we tried to update our location, it would say we were too far away to update it. And then you'd have to cancel and order another one. And so I barely made it to the airport on time. Like, good morning, it is 7:39 a.m. and I woke up in a cold sweat because I realized Cassie has my ID and she's at the airport and I'm here and her flight board's at 9, so I'm gonna go get my stuff and spend $40 on Ubers and probably like an hour of my time looking like this. We'll see. Cassie was just on the other side of security and we had even asked security, like, if I come, can you just like hold it and I'll grab it from you? And they were like, no, that's illegal. So when I finally got to a gate agent and I was like, please, my friend, I can see her from here. She's right there. She has my ID. I can't fly home if I don't have my ID. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I didn't bring my purse. Like I said, I only brought a small backpack. So I had brought like my debit card, my ID, and $20 cash. So the gate agent went over to Cassie and like was holding my stuff in the air like, see cameras, I'm not stealing anything. So she finally got it back to me and I was finally able to get my ID and I went back to the hotel. I took a shower, I slept for an hour, and then I had to get up and go back to the airport.
Somehow I still look cute even when I look disgusting.
So it was a pretty crazy trip. Lots of ups and downs, but obviously in the end, everything worked out. I think that there was a little bit of tension by the end of it, but that's just like girls' trip to Miami, how it always goes apparently. But you know, like we're all still friends. I just hung out with Riley like 2 days ago. So I'm not that worried about it. Like I said, my book is coming out in a couple of months. I'm hoping that there'll be more videos like this out before then. If you enjoy this vlog style, please either like or comment on this video. Let me know if you want to hear more story times like this, or if you prefer more talking head content where I'm talking about OnlyFans, because I can do more of that too if you want. If you have any questions, make sure that you either comment them down below or DM me. I'm active on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. I also have a personal website that you can access and send me emails or sign up for personal brand coaching for $100 per session. Make sure you check that out at teresaaparker.com. And I'll see y'all in the next one.